Imagine this, a nursing home that feels like a real home. It's painted in vibrant colors with cozy throw blankets, books, music, and a long communal table for family meals. A home where people with dementia are having fun. It is staffed by workers who love their jobs, where young and old connect, build friendships, and feel a sense of purpose in life. How is this even possible? This pilot project is part of a promise made a year ago when Peel Region decided to take a risk and transform one dementia unit in one of its long-term care homes. It's an experiment in hope. Let people live before they die. Here's what I've learned after investigating nursing homes for the last 15 years. Nothing really changes. Readers are outraged, politicians promise change, even revolution. Sometimes laws are passed. But the system remains the same, cold, clinical. The people who live in long-term care serve as parts in the machine. According to Dr. Bill Thomas, a leading American geriatrician, the reporting might need to change too.
The Toronto Star could do a story, a terrible, terrible, heart-wrenching story about long-term care 365 days a year. That's actually not the most dangerous story. What's most dangerous to the status quo is reporting that shows that it can be different, that there can be joy, that there can be love, that there can be dignity, that there can be privacy, that older people don't have to be denied those things just because they're living in this particular building. And to the degree that the public sees that and understands that, it undermines the entire poor me argument of the industry that, oh, well, we're doing the best we can, what can you expect? They're not doing the best they can, and we should expect better.
A nursing home revolution is happening, just not here in Ontario. Well, not until a nursing home guru from England showed up at a Peel dementia unit to lead the home through a flat-out transformation of care. Now, the home is asking the question that others might want to consider. Now that we know how to fix nursing home care, how could we not create change?
Surely it's possible for people with dementia to live, and for their spirit to flourish, even though their dementia is getting worse, for their spirit inside, so that they can flourish and live in the moment by moment.
We went to, it was an ONUS conference, and within the first few sentences, I mean, Dr. David Sheard caught it was like, that's it. What he is referring to, what he's speaking about, is the missing piece.
So, what is the message about butterflies? And people say, why butterflies? Butterflies are about transformation. We can turn long-term care into butterflies. And we do that by creating a new culture, a new style of leadership. This will have a massive impact on the leadership team at Malton Village. We want families to want this. We want families to realise, yes, you have been losing your relative to dementia. Yes, that is painful. But there is a bridge you could cross. And if you cross the bridge into the person with dementia's reality, it will be hard to lose them as they were, but you can learn to re-love them as they are again now. And if you do, you'll be left with positive, loving memories after they've gone. And that is a choice we have to be able to offer families, to say, there is a way through this pain. There is a way to be left with the love that was different in reaching your family member. Putting being loving is at the centre of everything in the butterfly movement, and I'm honoured that the region of Peel is going to pioneer this first in Ontario. Thank you.
I think that this should spread like wildfire. I mean, it really should. And I was fortunate that close to home was Sheridan Villa, where I live, and my wife was there for the last year. of her life, and but it was a warehouse. And I see the photos here. To me, that's marvelous. I mean, color. They'll recognize that. They'll see flowers in the building. They'll see stuffed animals and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
I just think you're doing a great job. Thank you.
Back at Malton Village, David Sheard points out some needed changes that for him are all too obvious.
It doesn't take any expert in care or dementia care, does it, to look at this and think it's not right. This is not like anything any of us have ever experienced in our own homes. Look at the floor, the dining tables, again, brown on brown, so there's no differentiation. People are not going to work out levels. It doesn't feel as if there's any statement that people matter. It's the bareness. And so I want this to be incredibly different. I want people never to be sat without staff sat with them. I want people to be together. I want a sense of family. I want the tables to be full of things, because what happens is if the tables are bare and if there's nothingness like this, then the meal stops even being a meal. It just becomes get the food out, minimise it and clear it away. Whereas I want the meal to last an hour and a half.
David Sheard and his team audit each home and give it a scaled rating from 1 to 10. Level 1 would be exceptional dementia care, and level 10 would make your stomach churn.
Peter and I did the audit, and the audit outcome was level 9. That's one level off me going to court. If the home was level 10, my response would have been, actually we need to stop. I will be having a meeting with the police, and I will be instigating court action for the abuse of people in this home.
The focus has been lost from, or has moved from just spending time with the resident to making sure that we've documented right, that we've documented at the right time. It's all that administrative work. If the resident wants that staff member to sit and hold her hand and just sit for a few minutes, that the staff member feels okay to just sit and hold her hand and not be worried about the pink button that they need to clear off because another task is required somewhere else. Those are the sorts of things. They don't have to be huge. Yeah. So the other part of this puzzle is Dr. Saha, and he's our new senior medical director.
If a cure for Alzheimer's dementia is not found, it is slated by the year 2050, it will cost the American economy $1 trillion. I'm going to be very frank with you in this perspective. I mean, I think the butterfly model is a new model in the bleak landscape of neurodegenerative illness. So I would say I have cautious optimism. As a physician, I would like to wait and see for the statistics and the data that we're collecting to come back, to synthesize this, to inform the discussion more at a scientific level.
On the other side of this, we will... So my father is 84 years old. He'll be 85 in November. And my father has been here at Redstone since March 2017. With the Butterfly program, what I was most excited to hear about, one, of course, was the music. And I think that additional stimulation, because I think one of the issues that people that are suffering from dementia face is the fact that they get bored easily.
When I heard about the Butterfly project coming, no, I didn't feel like we don't need it. I really felt that we do need it. Like you see the board there, that's the activation board right there, right? Nothing else is gonna happen today unless they get a visitor like a family, right? So that's all. If they don't participate in those activities today, what else are they gonna do? Sit in the dining room. So of course, we do need the Butterfly project.
It was my mother-in-law.
That's your mother-in-law, yeah?
Yeah.
Good
on there. She looks exactly like her now, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
She's always sitting in the hallway, staring out the window. And I think what she's trying to do is picture herself on the other side of the glass, still living that lifestyle that she was so used to for so long, adventuring, being on her own, driving around Ontario, finding new spots, and just being out and about, right? So to her, when she's sitting there and she's staring out the window, she's not seeing herself sitting in a chair. She's seeing herself, you know, in Niagara Falls, Ontario, Niagara-on-the-Lake, buying that coat that she bought in 1960 and trying to maintain that stylish, elegant lifestyle that she once had. So hopefully, you know, the Butterfly program will help bring those back to her and make her feel more comfortable, so it's not always about her trying to escape, but rather being comfortable where she is.
I haven't said hello. My name's David.
Hi Dave.
Hello,
My
nice to
name
meet
is
you.
Ingeborg.
Inge.
Really, but Inge.
I'm from England. I'm from England.
You?
I am.
Oh, I used to live in England.
Did
and
you?
I forget no way, yeah.
Feels so good coming here, and I look forward to coming here because I know I'm coming to peace. I'm coming to, you know, this beauty. I love the ambience. I love the decorating, the beauty, and I just love working here with the residents.
It's not about the old style of care that treats residents like patients in a hospital. Instead, staff go through hours and hours of training in empathy, teaching them how to become open emotionally so they become friends with residents.
So everything basically is based off how the resident feel. Like we, you know, will organize our day or our time spent with that resident around how they feel at that moment. And the residents love it, you can tell, because they just love to chat, because we have that time now, right? To sit and just chat about anything. So I think it's very nice to come into the Butterfly unit.
Over the course of the year, we have, as predicted, managed to see a reduction in antipsychotic prescribing. I have been especially pleased to also note that the falls risk for people living in the Butterfly ward, both I think because of prescribing getting better and also from the level of care that was being achieved, their falls risk has declined. One of the things that I have to confess that I was not expecting, but seems to have been a very positive development, is in the context of the morale of staff on the ward. I believe sickness times have gone down, people look forward to coming into work, they feel much more involved with the residents, and that also kind of makes for a much happier place overall in the context of the ward atmosphere. So I think it has been positive on a number of levels.
I hope I don't get off this floor, because you know on the other floor there's no Butterfly, and I'm so happy they put me here, and I don't want to go back.
People think I'm very confident, but I doubt myself all the time and think, yeah, what, you know, is it, you know, is it right? Will it happen? Is there enough to lift the staff, to get them to believe it? And then it's always, it's a bit of a choker, because it's like, you know, going back 22 years when I began it, and everyone thought I was mad and wild and wacky, and it's like, I never thought I'd come to Canada. And so when you come and you think, yeah, it's not rocket science. And actually, people just need you to say it. Because people want it, really. Why wouldn't you want it, you know? And I think of Anne, you know, perhaps why the choke comes, because Anne, who began all this with 22 years ago, died of dementia in the last year, age 60, in her own care home with her name on the door. And I came here on Monday and just thought, if only she'd been here, she would have she'd have wept and wept with me, saying, we did do something good to you, didn't we? We did try and do something good. So yeah, it's almost a bit unreal really, because this is from a kitchen table where I just wrote on a pad 22 years ago, what if everything I've been trained is a lie? What if people with dementia don't have any behaviours? What if actually we're killing them?
I would say I don't think there's any harm in trying to make things better for the people who made our country better in the beginning, right? So, you know, these people have done a lot for us and a lot for everybody. So I think it's time we start repaying them by trying to give them these outlets and trying to make things better for them, because, you know, the baby boomer population is definitely getting older. So we're going to have to start looking out for them more and more. And this, I think, is a great way to start.
I see the freight train coming. I see the tens of millions of people in North America who were born after World War II, who did not grow up in the Depression, who have very different attitudes about what they're willing to accept. And that freight train, that demographic freight train, is coming down the track. And they're my allies. These are people who are going to demand something better. They're not going to settle for a 19th century model of care in a 20th century building. They're going to demand something better. And I think we can have seen that already across the history of the boomer generation. They make change when they arrive on the scene.
And they're coming.
Oh, they are coming. You know. So here I am standing on the track saying, oh, you don't believe me? Just wait. And the power of that generation in terms of economics, culture, society, politics is tremendous. And it's never been focused on long-term care. The boomers have never focused on this, and they will.
Something has to happen. Why is there not a family movement? Why are people not marching in the streets of Toronto saying, we're a community about diversity, we're a community about equality, we're a community about creating equalness in society? Why are we accepting this for our most respected elders in our community just because they have a term that they need long-term care or they have dementia? I hope that in Ontario, in the next 20 years, people look back and say, something had to be broken. And it requires the media, it requires politicians, and it requires professionals to say, wake up, wake up.
I see the changes. I can feel the changes. I can see the interactions that have come about as a result of the changes. So no, I'm happy. I'm good. I'm excited to see what else is going to happen, really. You know what I mean? So it's good. It's good.
So the project looks like it's about mounds of paint, a pantechnicon of things entered into the home, pictures, feather boas, work things, ties. It looks like that, but that's just a metaphor for being a butterfly. The outer wrapper. The real butterfly project is the inner wrapper of, are we going to create a culture of care where some people happen to live here, and some people happen to work here, and some people happen to visit here, but actually they're all human beings. And so they all come here and they wake in the morning, they arrive in the morning, or they visit, knowing that it's quality of life that matters, that all we have is now. That you live in the moment, you love hard, and actually those moments really, really matter. And that's the culture. It's about being this, not doing it.